Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today is another installment in my Cityscape Chronicles Tokyo edition, and this is episode 4. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. So in today's video, we're going to be going to this place called Sunshine City, and it's this giant mall that they have in Tokyo in the city called Ikebukuro, and I'm super excited because they have a bunch of really cool stores here. So let's go ahead and start our day at Sunshine City. So the first store that we decided to go to was Toys R Us because Toys R Us used to be really popular in America, but it actually went out of business. So I wanted to see what Toys R Us in Japan had to offer. Right when I walked into Toys R Us, the first person that greeted me was actually Mario. So after I went and I said hi to Mario, I found these really cute elephant watering cans. So then the next thing that caught my eye was this Tamagotchi little wristband. I thought it was so cute. And then I found this little aquatic camera that when you look inside the camera and you press the shutter button, it shows you a new picture inside. Then I found this Pokemon themed bath bomb that I thought was awesome, but not only was it Pokemon themed, but it was Eevee themed. And then the moment we've all been waiting for, I finally found some actual Tamagotchis for sale. I was looking all over the Toys R Us store to find the Tamagotchis, and I found them. So these are the most latest Tamagotchis that they have for sale. They're called the Tamagotchi Uni, and they are pretty much the 2024 version of Tamagotchis. Once I was done looking at the Tamagotchis, I came across this Magical Girl little advertisement that I wanted to show you guys because I thought that was so cute. I think this is Pretty Cur, but I'm not sure. Once we are done with Toys R Us, we made our way to the Pokémon Center. Yeah, you heard me right. We're going to the Pokémon Center today. This is one of the biggest Pokémon centers that they have in Tokyo, so you already know that I had to go. Alright guys, so we are approaching the Pokémon Center. I'm so excited. It's gonna be so cool. I'm looking to get some stationery. I really want some cute stationery like washi tape or pens or stickers. Stickers have been my favorite on this trip, so let's see what they have. So as we were walking towards the Pokemon store, you could tell that you were in the right area because the lights were all Pokeballs. I was shook. So before we made it into the actual Pokemon Center, I knew that I wanted to play some Pokemon Go at the actual Pokemon Center. So here we are playing Pokemon Go. I love Pokemon Go. It's seriously so fun. Like, let's bring it back. So once I was done playing Pokemon Go, it was time to actually go into the store. You guys, check it out. This is like Disneyland, I feel like. Like, it was so cool. So as you can see, the Pokemon Center has a giant entrance. You definitely cannot miss it. So this particular Pokemon Center was actually a mega Pokemon Center. So this means that it is giant and one of the most popular ones. So right when you walk into the actual Pokemon Center, you're greeted with this giant legendary Pokemon. It's just like popping out of the wall. It looks so realistic. After I was done admiring the legendary Pokemon, it was time to actually go into the store. So the first thing I noticed walking into the store was they had the Pokemon soundtrack playing in the background, which was so fun. You actually felt like you're like inside the game in real life. So I'm a really big stationery fan, so the first thing that I noticed was some of the stationery that they had right out in front. So the next thing that caught my eye was this really cute bath toy for your bathtub. It was for little kids, but I thought it was so adorable, so I had to show the vlog. Then I found this Ditto headband that I immediately was like, this is mine. Then I was surprised to find some Pokemon makeup sponges, which I was like shook about. I was like, oh my god, these are so cute. And then after that, I found some Mareep fuzzy socks, and then again, immediately mine. I also came across this really cute Togepi plush. It was giant. Then I came across the spring collection that they had going on. So this is what they had for this year of 2024. I am so excited to see what they've got. So the spring collection is pretty much my favorite collection out of the whole year because everything is so floral, pretty, and girly. This collection is also kind of like Easter collection, so a lot of it is Easter themed with eggs and stuff. They had these really cute lace earrings that I thought were so adorable. So moving along, we also found some fuzzy Pokemon. So I ended up getting this Pichu and Pikachu, and they were keychains, and I love keychains. Then I found this really cute Pikachu pencil. It had a cute little heart Pikachu on top of it that I thought was so cute. And then I found this Ghastly keychain that I thought was so cool because you don't really see a lot of ghost Pokemon. So the next thing that I found was this Horsey watering can, and you guys, I was shook. This was probably the coolest item that I saw in the whole store. After that, I just came across this really cute little container that you could put literally anything in it. Then I found some stationery, which I was super pumped about. These were just some like little tags that you could put in your notebook to like make like a bookmark. Then I found this Flappy little plush that I thought was adorable. Flappy's one of my favorite Pokemon. So as you can see, the Pokemon Center was pretty busy this day, so I just wanted to show you kind of like an overview. Then I ended up finding this giant Meryl, which was so big. I was like, oh my god, this would be a perfect pillow. And then speaking of pillows, they had these giant body pillows that you could buy, and they had a couple options. They had a mime one. So then at this point, I pretty much went through the whole store and I had my little haul, and then we decided to go to the checkout. So as you can see, we got a big haul, so that's pretty much what we got at the Pokemon Center. So then right next to the Pokemon Center, they actually had this really cool Pokemon Go area that you could go to, and they just had like a bunch of Pokemon Go stuff in this little area. So as you can see, they have a giant Pokemon Go symbol right in the middle of this little store. I feel like Pokemon Go kind of like is dying out in like America, but in Japan, it's still going strong, which I am so happy about. So in this Pokemon Go section, they had a bunch of little Pokemon plushes. They ended up having a Coralista. Side note, you can only get this in Florida, so yeah. And then I found that somebody lined up the Eevees together, and I thought that was so cute. I was like, who did this? And then I found this super cute sleeping Psyduck that I wish I would have got. So then another section of the Pokemon Go area is they had this big room where they had all the Pokemon Go trainers. They have every single trainer. They have the red trainer, the blue trainer, and the yellow trainer. So the Pokemon trainers were actually life-size, and they were pretty tall, so I was pretty shook because I'm short. So I was like looking up at these guys, and I was like, oh my god, what is going on right now? So the blue trainer looks low-key kind of scary, like he looks kind of evil, not really sure what's going on there. But yeah, overall, this little section was really cool. They put a lot of time and effort, thought into all the details, and they even put the little logos on the ceiling, which I thought was really cool. So if I had to rate this Pokemon Go section, I would give it an 8 out of 10 stars on the star scale. So while we were walking around the mall, like outside of the stores, they actually had a section where they had a bunch of statues of different Pokemons, which I thought was really cool. It was super interactive, and they had so many different kinds of Pokemon on display. It was awesome. The next place that we decided to go to that we stumbled across that we didn't even know that they had at Sunshine City was this Pikachu Sweets Cafe. So I was already shook coming up to this store because everything was pink, and if it's pink, you already know that I'm gonna love it. As you can see, there was a really long line to get in, but we didn't care. We were gonna be waiting in the line no matter what. So while we were waiting in line, they actually had a cute display on the front of the store to show you kind of like some of their merch. So take a look at these really cute Pikachus dressed up in chef outfits. The menu was nice because the menu actually switched over to English as well as Japanese, so there was 2 options. So they were really advertising these drinks that they had for sale. So I thought that these drinks looked really aesthetic. I was super excited to try them. So then another thing that I thought was really awesome about this Pokemon cafe was that they had this garbage Pokemon that was actually the garbage can. So you could actually put garbage into the garbage can Pokemon, which I thought was so cute. So obviously I had to put a piece of garbage in the garbage can Pokemon. Once I was done putting garbage in the garbage can Pokemon, it was finally our time to go into the cafe. As you can see, they have a bunch of merch, as well as the workers were also dressed up in cute little outfits. They were wearing cute little Pikachu hats, which I thought were adorable. So once you order what you're gonna order, you have to go wait for your order to be made. So while we were waiting, I just wanted to show you guys a little bit around the store. They had actually this giant Chef Pikachu statue that I thought was really cool, and you could definitely use this as an opportunity to get a picture with this Pikachu because it's pretty much life-size. So I did end up buying one of the Chef Pikachus. I got the pink one. The store also featured the Pokeball lights that they had on the hallway outside as well. I thought this was a nice little touch just to tie everything together. So let's move on to what we actually ordered. We ended up getting 2 drinks, and we ended up getting the mango Pikachu flavored one, and then I got this little grape one with the cat Pokemon on it. And you guys, this drink was so aesthetic. It was so cute. So this Pikachu drink was like pop. It was carbonated, but then they had ice cream on top, so it kind of made it into a root beer float. It tasted kind of like mango, so I actually really liked the flavor. We also ended up getting the grape flavor because grape is like one of my favorite flavors for pretty much anything. Like if it's got grape flavor, I'm probably gonna order it. So this grape drink was really nice. It was like a grape pop, and I love grape pop, so this was a win for me. The whipped cream on the grape pop was really nice because when you mix it together, it kind of gave it more of like a creamy kind of flavor, which I really like. And then they also had a Pokemon cookie in it, which was just a nice little touch. Overall, I would rate this a 7 out of 10 on the star scale. So side note, you actually were not allowed to eat inside of the cafe, so you had to take all your things to go. But yeah, so once we were done with the Pikachu Sweets Cafe, I found this really cute play area for the little kids, and it was all Pokemon themed, and they had this giant Pikachu TV that I had to show the vlog. So then once we were done with all the Pokemon stuff, we decided to go see what other stores they had at the Sunshine City, and we ended up coming across this store called Law, and this store is kind of like a stationery slash drugstore, I guess you would say. So walking into Loft, you are greeted by a lot of different advertisements for different kinds of makeup, and then I made my way over to the stationery, right to the stickers, because stickers are my favorite kind of stationery, and they had so many cute ones. So I ended up finding these really cute Sakura themed stickers, and I ended up getting them, and they were like the cutest stickers I found on my entire trip. Then I made my way over to the pen section because I'm a sucker for pens and pencils. I don't know, there's just something about pens and pencils that are just, it's just like so fun to get different kinds. I then found this mint green pencil, and I was like, this is mine. So I ended up finding these special pens that are like pretty popular in the stationery community called Sarasa pens, and I really like these pens. I've actually used them in the past, so you already know I was going to be getting some of these. So then moving on to the cosmetic section of this store, and I ended up finding some bath products, and I found some bath salts. These are perfect to bring home because you can easily fit them in a suitcase, so you know I had to stock up. So after I was done looking at the bath stuff, I ended up finding Yujin from IVE. She was advertising some cushion foundation. I was so excited when I saw Yujin because I love IVE, and I was just shook. So then once we were done with the Loft, we decided to go to the Studio Ghibli store because I had yet to find any Studio Ghibli items yet on our Japan trip, so I was super excited to find this store. So we were happily greeted by this giant Totoro sign, so let's go ahead and see what this store has to offer. So right in the front of the store, they had a bunch of gachapons. They had the cat bus gachapon that I thought was really cool. Then inside the store, they had a giant Totoro plush that was carrying an umbrella. One thing about this store is they had a lot of decorations up, so it really made you feel like you were walking into the Studio Ghibli kind of like fantasy land. So the first item that caught my eye was this cute little Gigi keychain. It was so cute. I love Kiki's Delivery Service. Then I found some Ponyo items. Ponyo is another classic. Then I finally found some Howl's Moving Castle items. Howl's Moving Castle is my favorite Studio Ghibli film out of all of them. It's my favorite. So I ended up finding this really cool Howl's Moving Castle notebook, and I was like, this is so cute. Then I found some Howl's Moving Castle washi tape, and washi tape is one of my weaknesses. Then I found this Calcifer keychain that was so cute. The next thing that I found was this really cute cat bus little coin purse. So once I was done looking at the keychains, I was surprised to find a real life Calcifer sitting in the corner of this store. I was literally shook. Take a look because he is just burning up in this little stovetop. I was literally shook. I was like, I can't believe this. I'm actually in Howl's Moving Castle right now. This is so cool. Right on top of the Calcifer stove, they had the little dog that was in Howl's Moving Castle. And guess what, guys? It was like a little cleaning tool, like a little sponge that you could use to clean your kitchen or whatever. And then I found another Kiki's Delivery Service item, and this was so cool. I wanted to get it so bad, but I felt like it would have broke in my suitcase on the way home, so I didn't get it, but I had to show the vlog. This would be perfect for like a Halloween costume because you could be Kiki's Delivery Service and then you could just be like carrying around this like mystical bottle. Like, it would be so cool. So once we were done with the Studio Ghibli store, we were just casually walking through the mall, and I came across Wan Young again. She was outside of the Innisfree store, and I was shook, so I had to show you guys. I was like, oh my god, Wan Young is everywhere. So then moving on to my lunch, I ended up getting the fried chicken cutlet with the curry, and then I also added just the mixed vegetables in it, and then I also got medium rice, and I also got mild curry. So if you guys want to recreate my order, that's what I get, and that's what I got. So it was so good. Per usual, they always hit the ball out of the park, and I just love it. So if I had to rate my lunch, I would give it a 9 out of 10 stars. So once we were done eating lunch, we decided to leave Sunshine City and walk around Ikebukuro because they're actually like a giant city, and we just wanted to explore a little bit. We ended up coming across this arcade. This is just like a random arcade. It's called Geigo, I think, but I was super excited because they actually had a bunch of gachapons to play. So let's take a look at what gachapons they have. So the first gachapon that I saw was they actually had a gachapon. So basically it was the part of the gachapon that you twist and it makes the twisty noise. I had to get it. I really wanted to get the pink one. I actually got the yellow colored one, and I was just happy because I didn't want to get the green one. So then they also had this little area where you could recycle your little gachapon ball. You just put it in this little hole and then it can get recycled and used again. Once we were done playing with the gachapon, we were getting a little hungry for dessert, and we decided to go to this place called Milky Way Cafe. And you guys, this cafe is so fun. It is basically an astrological, star-themed, galaxy-themed cafe, and you guys are gonna be shook when you see it. Right when you go up the stairs, you can already see the space theme is going strong. They have a bunch of stars on the wall, which I thought was so magical. So once you get up to the second floor, you can see that they have a little waiting area. We actually had to put our names down to get a seat because there was a little bit of a line in front of us. But while you're waiting, they have a little display case of all the desserts that you can get at this cafe, which I think is really nice because you can kind of visualize and see what you could possibly order. Once we were done waiting, it was time to go into the restaurant to eat our food. So as you can see, this restaurant was super beautiful. They had floor to ceiling windows, which is always a plus, and it was just a great little place to just relax and look out onto the city and then just enjoy the view. I was in love. So once we were seated, it was time to look at the menu, and the menu was giant. They had a bunch of pictures on it so you could see what all the parfaits looked like, and the themes of these parfaits were all the astrological zodiac signs. I was excited because astrology is one of my hobbies, and I was just so pumped to see how they portrayed each zodiac sign. All right guys, so we ended up going to this place called Milky Way Cafe, and we ordered 2 parfaits and a melon soda, and I'm super excited because I haven't had the melon soda yet, and it's gonna look really cool because it's gonna be bright green. So let's see how it tastes. My drink came and it was so pretty. It was in this star cup, and it also had a star straw as well as ice cream on top, and it was just so cute. But I do have to say, I don't know if I'm a fan of the melon drink. It kind of was tasting too artificial for me, so I actually didn't really like it, but I still feel like it's a good thing to try when you're in Japan because you can only get it in Japan. But on the star level, I would give it a 5 out of 10 stars because I didn't really like the flavor. So now moving on to the star of the show, and that's my parfait. I ended up getting this triple chocolate cheesecake parfait, and you guys, it was so good. The presentation alone was A+ in my book, 10 out of 10 stars just for how it looked. But guys, the taste was great as well. So then for our second parfait, we ended up getting this strawberry blueberry themed parfait with waffles in it, and this one was crazy, you guys. Just take a look at it because it is wild. These parfaits were giant, so I feel like you could just get one of these and split it between the 2 people and you would be totally fine. So then once we were done with Milky Way Cafe, we decided to check out this giant Sanrio store. This Sanrio store was directly next to the Milky Way Cafe, so it was super convenient, and obviously we had to go in. So walking into the Sanrio store, I was immediately gravitated towards, you guessed it, cinnamon roll. They had a bunch of little cute makeup cases that were catching my eye. But you want to know what really was catching my eye? This blue sea monster guy. This guy is so cute. I actually got a bunch of merch of him this entire trip because I just fell in love with him. So the Sanrio store was pretty big. There was actually 2 floors. So let's go up to the second floor together. Then I found the stationery section, and I was in love because I love Sanrio stationery. So I ended up finding this really cute washi tape that I immediately had to buy. So another thing that caught my eye was they had a Sailor Moon / Sanrio collab. So once we're done at the Sanrio store, we decided to just walk around Ikebukuro at night. We were just kind of exploring the area to see what we stumbled upon, and we ended up stumbling upon this store called Candy Stripper. I was super excited because I actually wanted to go to this store to the location in Harajuku, but I actually forgot. So when I found this store in Ikebukuro, I was shook. So the first thing that caught my eye in Candy Stripper was this really cute 2-piece set that had a bunch of really cute little cats on it. Then I found these really cute overalls that had the same cat pattern on it, and I really wanted to buy these, but they were like $300, so I had to pass. So then I found this really cute cardigan that was like candy cane colors, perfect for a candy stripper. They also had this really cute dress that I wanted to show you guys because this dress would be perfect for layering. So once we're done with candy stripper, we decided to go into Tower Records because I had not been in Tower Records yet since we've been in Tokyo. So let's see what they have, because I know I'm about to see some K-pop stars. Immediately when I walked into Tower Records, I immediately saw IVE. They had a giant IVE section, and I was like, all right, I'm in heaven. Let's go. Let's see what they got. And you guys, they had every single album. I was shook. So I ended up getting one of the albums, and I ended up getting the Mine album because I really liked that album. I loved the song Baddie. Basically, their whole album was amazing. And then right next to IVE, they had this giant Zero Base 1 display because they just came out with a Japanese single. So they were like highly advertising it everywhere in Tower Records, so I was in heaven. They also had every single Zero Base 1 album as well, so you know I had to peep what they had. They had this In Bloom album, which was really nice to see in person because like you're not gonna see this in America. They had every single album with every single member individually on the album, so you could pick whatever person that you liked the best, you could buy their album. I then was continuing looking around the store, and I ended up finding some Kepler albums, and I was super excited because Kepler is the first K-pop band that introduced me into K-pop because I watched Girls Planet 999. And guess what, guys? That concludes our 5th day in Japan. I just want to show you guys my little haul for the day. First things first is I got a bunch of stuff from the Pokémon Center. That was one of the main stores that we were most excited about going to when we came to Japan. So I got a lot of keychains from the Pokémon Center, as well as some other miscellaneous objects like these fuzzy Mareep socks that I was so pumped to get. And then I did end up getting something from Tower Records. I ended up getting an IVE album, but then when I went to the cashier, she gave me this free IVE photo card, and I ended up getting ESO, and I was so excited because she's one of my favorites next to Won Young, so I was pumped. So then I also ended up getting some other things at Sunshine City. I ended up stealing this Coco Curry pen. I got some Family Mart socks, and then I also got some makeup as well. So then moving on to the Sanrio store haul, I ended up getting a couple things. I got a couple of the new Sanrio character. He's like a sea monster, but he caught my attention, and I got a couple things by him because he was so cute. And now for my loft haul. This haul was pretty much all stationery. I ended up getting some stickers, some pens, some pencils, and I also got some washi tape, and then I also got some bath salts. So then last but not least, I did get a couple things from the Studio Ghibli store, and I ended up getting these 2 items, and I ended up getting this notebook and washi tape. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this vlog. I hope you guys liked coming with me to basically go shopping today. It was a pretty fun day in Tokyo, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below if you've been to Sunshine City and what did you buy when you went there. That's pretty much it. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!